In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make 4 items that are super popular right now and sell really well. But as always, there's a catch. All right, we are using xTool Creative Space today because I want to show you that you don't need super fancy software. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to set my material to 3mm black acrylic. I'm not using black acrylic, but this is the best starting point I have found when working with acrylic with the P2. All right, first we're going to grab some text here. And we're going to turn this into a name. I'm going to use my niece's name. I hope I spelled that right. I'll find out when I give it to her if I did or not, because she will let me know. But this is kind of boring. I want something a little fancier, and we're going to use a different font. There we go. Now, I'm using the Magnolia script because it's connected, so it'll look nice when we're done. Size 72. Let's see what's the width on that. 74.6. Yeah, that's a good size. I like that size. I'm going to click Weld. You can see everything is one solid piece. It's all connected. That's great. We're going to take it a step further. I'm going to go Outline. Set this to 5mm, actually click OK. And now I've got 2 different shapes here. I've got the outline and I've got the text. I'm going to grab the outline and I'm going to move this to the red layer. I'm going to leave this on the blue layer though, because I want them to be 2 separate layers. And the reason is we're going to cut these separately, but we're not done yet. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to grab a circle. So I'm going to grab a circle, go back to select. I'm going to drag this over. And then I'm going to use my arrow keys because it wants to snap to grid and it's not exactly where I want it. We're going to put it like maybe right about there. And then while I'm here, I'm going to click outline. I'm going to do a negative. Let me go -3. Click OK. We got our round. We're going to click this and we're going to hold down shift. And we're going to click the other red. We're going to go up here to combine. I'm going to click unite. And now I've got a solid shape with this circle here that's going to cut it out. This is all set and ready to go. I have both of these images here that I want to cut, but I'm cutting on different acrylic. I'm going to click this layer and set it to ignore. And also I'm going to turn it off so I don't see it. Really quick, I'm going to refresh. We're going to get an image of my acrylic in the laser. We're going to do a close view in this upper corner here. All right, actually, I'm going to move this sheet down just a little bit. It might be a little high. Let's refresh it again. Now I can see the edge because I want to get close to the edge, not waste a bunch of material. We're going to grab our text. We're going to put this really close to the edge, but not going off the edge. And we're going to cut this out. Oh, actually first, let's check thickness. We're all set and ready to go. Click Start to send it to the machine. Machine is ready. And away we go. All right, we are done with layer 1. Let's click to ignore that. Let's go to layer 2. Let's turn that on. Let's actually turn off layer 1. Layer 2 set to output. Cut. Let's move this up to the upper. Actually, we need to refresh this because I have new material on board. Close image. Awesome. Actually, I want to get a better close view at the edge here. I think we're fine. Get real close to the edge there. That should be good. And we do the same thing again. That one's done. Let's do another move. First, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to rename this. Let's call this keychain. That's done. Let's make another canvas. I'm going to click plus. Now I've got a brand new design area here. We're going to grab some text again. Let's do this all uppercase. Tomato. Pretty sure I spelled that right. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so I've got tomato. I'm going to grab a rectangle. I'm going to make a rectangle. That is about the same size, maybe a little bit bigger. Awesome. Let me zoom in here a little bit. And now actually all I'm going to do, I'm going to click this. I'm going to do Control C. Control V to paste it, drag it here, grab the handle, rotate it 90 degrees. Yeah, that looks middle-ish to me. And then finally, we're going to do shape, triangle. Grab this triangle here, bring it down. We're going to rotate it, and we're going to do, I can just come up here and do 180. We're going to plant it so it's connected. Plant it, see what I did there? And then we're going to grab the other corner, and that way, this corner stays put, and this one moves, so we get the right size. Zoom in as far as I can. I'm going to grab the hand tool so I can move this over. Go back to select, and we're going to move this a little bit here. You've probably figured out what this is at this point. And we're going to select everything, and I'm going to combine and unite. And now I've got myself a little stake that I can put in the garden so that when your plants are growing, you know what they are. We're not done yet. I want to do another one. We're going to use the same techniques we used in the previous one for something different. Does that look like the handwriting of somebody that actually needs a drink? That's what I'm going for here. Maybe you also see there's this big gap here. We can fix that really easy. We come into here to leading, We do a negative, I like 7. There we go. Let's move this over a little bit. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to select this. We're going to do outline. Okay, now you can see, if I zoom in, it's not quite closed in. And I want it to be closed in, so I'm going to go 6. That should get rid of that. There we go. Everything's all nice and closed in. And if I was smart, I would have not combined this already because I could have just grabbed the stake. But that's okay. We are going to insert a rectangle. Grab a rectangle here, and we're going to do a triangle. Yep, that'll be good enough. Grab almost everything. We are going to do combine. Now, the reason I didn't combine the letters is because if I would combine the letters, they would disappear. We need those to be separate. The outline, we are going to move to a new layer. I'm going to put the tomato on the same layer. We're going to move this to the red layer. I like to use red for cut. I don't know why, that's just what I do, but the colors don't mean anything. Now we just need to set up our layers. We're going to go to layer 2, click on that. Layer 2 is a cut. I'm going to set my stuff here like I did for the other one, 23. For this, and we're going to do an engrave. I'm going to leave the reference as is, and this one is ready to go as well. Okay, I want to cut my tomato sign out of this fancy looking sparkly red stuff, but I don't want to cut this one out because you won't be able to read the engraving. So we're going to grab this, Control X. I'm going to make a new canvas and just drop it on there for now. And then we'll go back to plants. All right, now I can just grab my tomato, get this close to the edge. Why are we, oh, because I'm pushing the wrong key. No, I don't need sticky keys. Go away, sticky keys. That's pretty close. The only problem is it's so hard to see the red on the red. I didn't think this through, but there's an easy fix for that. I'm just going to move it to a different layer so I can see it. Let's do, black's a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to output, we're going to cut, and I learned from my last one, 23 is too fast. We're going to slow it down to like 15. Make sure we get all the way through. All right, that's all set. Using the same techniques, we're going to do something fancy for wedding stuff because wedding stuff does really well. And I needed an example name, so I asked the internet for a bride's name, and now for some reason I keep getting advertisements for mail order brides, which not what I was looking for. And I'm going to do this with Dancing Script because it looks kind of fancy. Now, one thing you will notice if I zoom in, you will see the E is not connected. And I can't really fix that as is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of the E. I'm going to weld this together. Now I've got Lena. Do another text, add an E. We're going to come in here and I'm just going to overlap it like so. And then we're going to select everything and I'm going to do a combine unite. Boom. There's my name. That is ready to go. Now, perhaps the groom doesn't want a fancy name like this. Maybe they want something more in their style. And let's do non-script so you can see how this works with non-script. So I'm going to, I don't know, who is Alina married to? Let's ask, who is Alina marrying? All right, chat said Alexander James. Alex, there we go. It's a little bit more fun. We're going to size this down a little bit. So we want the names to be about the same. Similar issue here now. E and X are sort of overlapped a little bit and they would cut together. These will not. Okay, so I made these individual letters. I have overlapped them. Grab them all, combine, unite, boom, done. Now I've got my two things I can cut out. You can cut these out. You can put these on wedding cakes. You could add stakes like we did with the plants to put these on the top of a wedding cake. You could put them on the front of a wedding cake. You could use these as name placeholders for the reception. All right, we've got Elena and Alex here. We've got Elena lined up on this fancy gold, but Alex doesn't want the fancy gold. So we're going to do a different color for him. So I've set layer 2 to ignore. Layer 1, I've set to output cut. I've got my settings dialed in. Let's get to it. Just remember, Elena, you can't spell Alex without X. Quick side note, these are way too tiny. When I designed these, I wasn't thinking about how big they need to be. They need to be much bigger if you're going to use them for nameplates. But for my purposes, they were great for demonstration. Also, be very careful if you're making tiny things with super fancy font. This is super flexible, and I already broke this once. So, Elena, this might be a sign you're not supposed to get married to Alex. For our last project here, we are going to combine all of the things we've done so far with a couple other features from the software. 100 by 125. That's pretty good. Go with that. And then I'm going to make another rectangle, and let's make that 100 by 40. We need to unlock the width and the height. So if we unlock here now, there we go. I can adjust one without the other changing. And what I want to do is I want to line these up next to each other. I want to make another rectangle. Yeah, right about there. Let's get it lined up exactly on the edge right here. That looks good. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it. I'll zoom. And I'm zooming out using, if you hold down Control and use your mouse wheel, you can scroll in and out. You can also use Control plus or Control minus to zoom in and out. Now I've got my second one here. I'm going to put it up here on this side, maybe about there. That looks good. I'm going to come back in and I want to grab this. We're going to drag it out just a little bit. And we're going to do the same thing on this one up here. All right, now I'm going to select this, hold Shift, click. That selects both of them. I'm going to go up to Combine and Subtract. So now you'll see I have a gap on this side. We're going to do the same thing and actually just drag over, and that should select everything there. We're going to do subtract. So now we've got the other side like a so. So let me grab this. We're going to move that to reds for cut. We'll grab this one, move it to red for cut. It's good. We're going to set that to engrave. Now, if you're going to pay here, this could just be a sign that says pay here and you put it by register. But what we can do is get real fancy. We're going to use a QR code. And you would put in your Vimeo, your PayPal, or Google Pay, or whatever you were going to use here. Now I've got a QR code. All right, next up, we are going to import an image. And by image, I'm actually going to use a vector file for my logo. So you click on image. Okay, I've brought in my logo in vector form, which is massive. Move this over. After a little bit of tweaking, got my logo there. It's just going to be scored. Thank you. We are going to engrave. There we go. Pay here. That all looks good. Actually, I want to do one more version or variation of this. And I'm going to grab a rectangle here. All right, we're going to put that there. We're going to put it on a different layer. We'll put it on black. So now I can cut out either the black version or the red version. I'm going to do one of each to show you a cool thing you can do. And here's our stand signs. We've got our 2-piece sign. And then for these 2 signs, the reason I left extra material is so that we can bend it over, as you'll see in my video clip here using a heat gun. Now these 2 I spray painted with some silver and some white before I pulled off the protective film and then peeled it off. And I was a little hasty and didn't let it dry, so there's some imperfections there, but if you take your time and let it dry, it will look nice. And then this sign is just bent, and this is just another example of what you can do with these signs. I've got Instagram, QR code to take you to my Instagram. One thing I would have done on these signs that I forgot to do, I should have rounded out the edges. They don't look quite as professional having super sharp edges like this. I could use these signs for local stores, for local restaurants. They could put their socials on here. They could put menu QR codes. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with these. As I said, there's a catch. All of these items sell really well and are super popular right now, but they're probably not going to let you build a business. If you just want to make some side money with your laser, hey, you're all good. But if you want to get serious and start turning your laser engraver or other handmade goods into a business, check out my video up here to get started. Thanks for watching, everybody.